Good morning. Before we begin, I would just like to tell you that about 3 minutes ago, there was a long line in the women's room, and being junior leaguers, a bunch of us took over the men's room. And then they blamed it on me. They're like, the AJLI president's going in there. We can too. But I'll take it because we got this. So this morning, joining me at the head table, from your left to right, Susan Danish, Association CEO Executive Director, Renee Tusi, outgoing AJLI Treasurer, Tina Winham, outgoing AJLI At-Large Director, CC Gassner, ongoing AJLI Secretary, me, Ann Giberson, the Oracle, our parliamentarian, and Elizabeth Tominski, ongoing AJLI Vice President. So here's an administrative detail. As specified in the call to conference, the voting delegates have been asked to sit in the color-coded areas in front. So all others should sit at tables behind the voting delegates. I'm hoping everyone is appropriately situated, and if not, please move. Okay. Please move now. So I also ask you to bear with me while I review the rules of our meeting today. Our dialogue is more formal than yesterday's governance dialogue because this is the formal business meeting. So please pay attention, and again, bear with me. So the first order of business is the statement on meeting attendance. Then we will update meeting attendance. After that, the next business item will be consideration of the proposed amendment to the operational policies approved by the Junior Leagues, Section 1, Management of the External Resolutions Process. This will be followed by consideration of the advisory resolution proposed by the Junior Leagues of Washington, Jackson, and Tulsa to establish a membership task force. Next will be the advisory resolution regarding eliminating the geographical areas from the association bylaws proposed by the Junior Leagues of St. Louis, Halifax, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Portland, Oregon, Evansville, Monroe, Fort Myers, and Kansas City. And the last advisory resolution submitted by the Junior League of Lufkin is asking for a review of the AJLI mission statement. Just a reminder, advisory resolutions are advisory in nature. The board takes these very seriously and will discuss them with all due diligence at our next board meeting, which is, I can't believe this, next month in June. Concerning meeting procedures, because we are voting electronically, every vote is tallied. Debate may be extended by 5 minutes by a 2/3 vote of the delegate body. Any delegate or alternate may propose or second a motion. Delegates seconding a motion need not seek recognition. This is consistent with Robert's Rules of Order. Michelle Gornstein and Tom Cavallari will be our timers again today. Michelle will time each speaker and will indicate when 3 minutes are up by you rising and holding up a blue card. So if you see me going like this, I'm just trying to make sure that we stay on time and I can see Michelle. Michelle, please stand so the delegates can see you. And there she's waving blue card. Thank you. Tom will keep track of the total time spent on each item and will indicate when time is up by rising and holding up the dreaded red card. Tom, please stand, and there's the red card. The motion to extend the time of debate is in order when the timekeeper, Tom, indicates that time has expired. So if you desire to make a motion to extend debate, you must indicate such to a teller and get to a microphone immediately. You will see that today our 3 microphones are color-coded differently from yesterday's governance dialogue. The microphone wrapped, there we go. The microphone wrapped in green lights is for those speaking for a motion. The microphone wrapped in red lights is for those speaking against a motion. The microphone in the center is for those with interrupting, main, or subsidiary motions. To further clarify what those of you are at the multicolored mic are speaking about, you will be given a colored card from a teller. That card will be blue, yellow, or orange. So blue. A blue card is for a point of order, which is used if the rules appear to be broken. Parliamentary inquiry, which is used if you want to ask a question about parliamentary procedure or the rules. If anyone holds up that card, I will be looking to my left. Or yellow, asking for information on a pending motion. Orange, introducing a main motion, a motion on a topic when no other motion is pending, or a subsidiary motion, which is a motion on a pending motion. The most common subsidiary motion is an amendment. The orange card is also used for the previous question, which is a request to end debate and vote. If you need advice, the tellers will be able to help you, and we can always seek the advice of Anne, who's sitting next to me, our parliamentarian. Oh. Okay, now we're trying to find our technical, okay. All right, so thankfully I have people up here to help me. Throughout today's business, when the chair recognizes you, please identify yourself by name, league, and state for which purpose you are speaking. So for example, my name is Jane Doe, I'm from the Junior League of X, and I'm speaking for the motion, or I'm speaking against the motion. As detailed in the conference rules for the annual business meeting in the call to conference, okay. I think we can go like this. Oh, there's the agenda again. As detailed in the conference rules for the annual business meeting and the call to conference, any delegate speaking must display her voting credentials, signified by the letter V on the voting delegate's name badge or the letter A on the alternate voting delegate's name badge. Please submit all main motions and amendments in writing. A 4-part form is available from the tellers, 1 copy each for the chair, the secretary, the parliamentarian, and the person making the motion. Give the top 3 copies of the motion form to a teller who will deliver them to the chair. Regarding the method of voting, since we practiced electronic voting yesterday at Dialogue, we will have only a very brief review session in a moment to ensure everyone is prepared to do that again. Whenever we have a vote, the doors to the assembly hall will be closed and no one will be allowed to leave or enter. This is to ensure an accurate vote. If a voting delegate must leave the room prior to a vote, she must leave her voting device with her alternate voting delegate from her league, who will take a seat up front until she returns. The tellers again this morning are members of the Association Governance Committee and staff. Thank you, timers and tellers. We are now going to update the meeting attendance by identifying how many junior leagues have registered since Thursday afternoon's opening session of the annual meeting. I call on Association Secretary Cece Gassner to present the updated registration report.
Madam President, at the opening session of the annual meeting on Thursday, May 2nd, there were 194 junior leagues present in person or by proxy. Since that time, an additional 5 junior leagues have registered in person or by proxy, making the total registered at this conference to be 199 junior leagues. I move that this updated report on registration be adopted.
Is there a second? It is moved and seconded to adopt the updated registration report. A majority vote is required for adoption. If there is no objection, the chair proposes to take a voice vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say no. Great, thank you. The ayes have it, and the registration report is adopted. In terms of proxies, New York state law, under which the association is incorporated, allows a junior league to give a proxy to anyone to vote on the junior league's behalf, as long as certain legal formalities are observed. If your league is holding the proxy for another junior league, you must also have the league's voting delegate badge and electronic voting device. If a junior league gives its proxy to the association, that proxy will be exercised at the annual meeting by the secretary of the association. This year, how many? 2, thank you. 2 junior leagues have given their proxies to the association. So AJLI Secretary C.C. Gassner will be acting as the representative of the association and voting the proxies on those junior leagues' behalf when votes are taken. So before we consider today's business, we will briefly review how to use our electronic voting devices and ensure that everyone is comfortable with the voting process. Each of the voting delegates should have received an electronic voting device that looks like this. If you did not receive your device, please raise your hand and your teller will bring you one. Great, thank you. It looks like everyone has their voting device. Okay, they're discussing over there. So voting delegates, it's very important that from now on you do not jump ahead and vote, meaning pressing your device, as soon as the voting slides appear on screen. You must wait for my verbal instructions to do so, and this is because we're coordinating with the electronic devices and the teller table to make sure that they're ready. So when you see the countdown clock commences and I say, please vote now, that's when we'll vote, okay? So test 1. You all did a great job with this yesterday, so let's do one quick test to get us warmed up again. This is, surprise! Unfortunately, this is just a test. So this is close to how our motions will appear later this morning, and it's a very tough question, as you can see. So I'm assuming you're ready for the question. Tech business table, are we ready? I'm getting the sense that we're ready.
We are ready.
Thank you. Okay, so this is what we'll be waiting for. So it has been moved and seconded. It has been moved by the board of directors, and therefore a second is not required, to serve wine and chocolate at every meal. You should select 1 on your keypad if you are in favor of the motion, and 2 if you are opposed. Ready? Please vote now. Notice the countdown clock. Okay, so the countdown clock has closed. So then what we'll do is I will ask for a formal presentation of the vote. So I'll say, are all the votes in? The chair calls on Betsy Conway, teller chair, to read the results. Where is Betsy? Hmm? Oh, okay. Yes. It's not on. Yes.
There we go. Madam Chair, please let the record show that there were 218 votes cast, there were 197 votes in the affirmative, and 21 votes in the negative.
So we have a question from the head table, and that is the number of total votes given the registration report. So if someone could clarify that for us, I think the delegate body would appreciate it. Or maybe some people voted twice, which I don't think is possible. Oh, there were some early voters? Okay. Okay. Can you say that again? Oh, got it. Okay. So I understand there were some early voters.
Actually, no, the issue is, sorry, we had to take a count of registration at a definitive point in time in order to make the announcement. And there were last-minute people that came in after CC read the registration report.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yes. So
Okay.
there is an updated registration report that we will use. Thank you.
Correct. And we will get that confirmed with our parliamentarian.
Okay. So actually, we need an updated, thank you, Anne. Yes. We need an updated report before we vote on any of the motions.
Okay. And we'll be working on that now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So as we wait for the updated report, are there any questions before we move on? I'll wait till they give instructions. Right, okay. Okay. So, hello again. So in the interest of time, our parliamentarian has given us some good guidance. She said that we can go into the business of the meeting, and before we take a vote, we'll get an accurate, updated report. Okay? So the first business in order is consideration of motion number 1, the proposed amendment to operational policies approved by the Junior Leagues, Section 1, Management of the External Resolutions Process. The motion begins on page 11 of your call to conference packet. I'll give you a moment to find that page. It's also on the app. Have you found motion 1? The chair now recognizes AJLI Secretary C.C. Gassner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Motion number 1 proposes an amendment to operational policies approved by the Junior Leagues. Section 1, Management of the External Resolutions Process. Motion number 1 is a substitute amendment, replacing all of the former Section 1, Management of the External Resolutions Process. I move the adoption of motion number 1 as printed and distributed.
The motion is to adopt motion 1 as printed and distributed. If there is no objection, I will not read the motion. Hearing none, the motion is made on behalf of the Board of Directors and does not require a second. The chair now recognizes Tina Winham, the board member designated to speak in support of this motion.
Thank you, Laurel. For 15 years, from 2000 to 2015, there was no mechanism in place for the Junior League to use its collective voice on nonpartisan issues. The impetus for this proposed amendment came from the Junior Leagues and reflects 2 years of work by the Junior League members. Therefore, I ask Elizabeth Keyes from the Junior League of Washington to speak in support of this motion.
Thank you, Tina. Madam Chair, it has been an honor and a privilege to chair this task force for the past year, but more than that, to have the opportunity to speak to league leaders around the globe on this issue of collective voice. A thread that's run through all of those conversations is that just as individual leagues seek to have a seat at the table on issues emerging in their own community, there is a desire for this body as a whole to have a voice on issues emerging nationally and internationally. The rapid response process allows that flexibility to be nimble while also providing safeguards to ensure that our collective voice is used deliberately and with principle, to ensure that each individual league has the autonomy to adopt or not a statement as is appropriate for that league, and to ensure that any issue adopted is not only mission-based but also nonpartisan. This two-pronged approach, adding the rapid response process to the existing external resolutions process, gives us maximum opportunities to have a seat at the table. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Was that me? Sorry. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Elizabeth. Now it's time for discussion. Are you ready for the question? The question is on the adoption of motion number 1. Oh, sorry. Now it is time for discussion, so if you have comments, please go to the mics. Also, while someone is walking up to the mic, just to let you know, our process is to alternate between pro and con. So if there's a line and I'm going back and forth, that's because that's our process. Yes, the chair recognizes the delegate at the green microphone.
Good morning. This is Heidi Pyle from Junior League of Sacramento. And I just want to speak in support. I think that this motion aligns perfectly with the strategic directives that AJLI is moving towards in shedding some misperceptions on our image, but also being able to really regain that strength and collective voice that the video we had at opening reception really illustrated very accurately. So in support and love everything about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. Are there any other comments? Okay. So we need the updated registration before we take a vote.
Madam Chair, we have someone that is going right now to confirm registration. We think we have an accurate number, but they are going to confirm against our registration system, and they are also going to double check the number of badges from leagues that have not been picked up, and that should give us an accurate count, and that should take about 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay. I am not a good singer. I'm also not a good dancer. Okay. So you'll appreciate this great advice from our parliamentarian. So I am now allowed to let you stand at ease, which means you can visit amongst yourselves and talk. So please do so until we have the updated registration report. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what we have the confirmation. Yeah, as long as she's on the list. Yeah. That. No. What time is it? Just keep an eye out. 10:42 is the time. That was when we would stop. So we got some. Okay. Is there anything that you want to do? Like, could they you know what? That's a good idea. You can let them know and just say count the number of people in their section, and then we'll tally it up. People. What we're looking for are people present. If there's a machine and no one's there, then count. Well, yeah, for their proxy. Sorry, I meant if they have it out. You're right. There you go. That'll be our quadruple check.
You know, when you said that this morning, just now, I said that can't be right. There have to be more than let's just
Lashonda. So we need to tell all tellers to count out the number just in their section of people that are voting. If they have a proxy and they have 2 legal, if there's one on the table, nobody's there, you do not count it. All right? Just do your section and then we'll tally. Yep. Make sure they all go to Betsy.
So we're going to do a retest of the
And we move on. Oh, she didn't look. All right. Did you also let them know that when they click the device, the number shows up? It'll say received on the screen to confirm. Oh, yeah, yes, thank you. Yes. Now I'm with you.
Thank you.
They're going to do a check. And Wait, we're writing down. 18. Wait. LaShonda. Yes. Okay. And who are we giving it to? All right, and Galveston is here. All right, so they need your badge. They need a copy of this, and then just keep the lanyard, give it badge. It's just paper. It's okay. Take a picture of it real quick. Yeah, scrapbook it. Take a picture of her wearing it. Make her look good.
Do I look like I'm talking? Do I look like I'm fake talking? I'm fake talking right now? Okay, I'm fake talking right now.
All right, and now the number does not change because she's still voting, yep? That was for me, not for you. You keep one, the person she gives it to keeps one, and then one comes back here, yep? No, Cece only gets it if she's voting. Oh, that's fine, yeah. Got it. Or 18.
Yes.
Got it. And did that include the two that Cece has? No. It might be 220. They have 220. No, we forgot to count this too. 218 plus 2 for Cece is 220. Okay. Hold on. I might need you to be my runner. Oh, it's Julianne. No. You're in here. Okay. I need you to run over to registration, see how much longer they need. We're looking for 220, we think now. Oh, the conference registration. Yeah. Oh, Sarah, if they're not there, they might have gone into the AJLI office, which is number 1. Fast as you can.
Can I borrow those? Yeah, I mean, I'll just borrow them for the, yeah.
I know where you
What? Oh, okay. Hello, everybody. So we think we're ready to start. Thank you. Please take your seats. Before we do that, I'm going to do this. And now I can see you all.
Wait, I have a cheat sheet.
That was just to lighten up the mood. So the chair now calls on Association Secretary Cece Gassner. Oh, I thought we did. I thought this is the updated report. My mistake. I thought we had the updated numbers. I'll just wait up here and... My apologies. I jumped the gun. So you're back on standby. I thought they were coming up, that's why.
I mean, I know that's accurate. Sissy's coming up here. Eight.
That's how many badges are sitting there, 8 voting and 5 alternates.
That's it? All right, so yeah, there's definitely an issue. Okay. Worst case scenario, checking here. I think we have to do a roll call vote. That'll give us the number, and it should equal 220, which is how many people are actually voting. All right, before you do that, hold on. Before you do that, we have, this is how many weren't picked up. 8 and 5 is 13. 8 and 5 is 13? Yes. 13 plus 206. What was 206 again? Sorry, 206 was plus the 206 was the number. I'm so sorry. When you do that, what was the 206? The 206 is the point of start on the list. Is that right? Sign in. 260 sign in. And again, it's leads, right? 206 leads plus their tier plus proxies, 8 equals 2 plus. These are leads or these are. Yeah, it's both. Oh, voting it. No, it's not necessarily right. She's voting in alternate, so it could be either or. So we can't use that. Yeah, we're going to. Up. So we have a discrepancy. We have a discrepancy of 4. And that's what I'm thinking happened. Discrepancy of 4. We had 8 proxies. We just would need to match up with the team that didn't sign in for proxies to see if we could do it. So when they sat down, they wouldn't have been given a clicker without the badge. I mean, there's illustrating that. But we have 214 accounted for and 218 voted. 220. Yes. Because you have 2, right? Yeah. 200. Yeah, and that's why we said we know it's accurate. We just don't have a way to jive it because we're off. Unless 2 people didn't. But again, yeah, that number is never. One more test and see what the number is. If it's 218 or 220, we're still safe. Yeah.
Flight was canceled tonight, and so the only way to get out is to leave now.
Who's voting for her? Another league?
Yeah, this other league, Great Falls.
Okay, you need to run that to them as soon as possible.
Run it to.
Yep, the person that leaves gets a copy, we get a copy, and the person that gets the clicker gets a copy. Right. But you need to run it because we're going to do a retest. That doesn't change the numbers. What's saying that? Must be weather stuff. Yes, because that's, I mean, I'm 99% sure. Yeah, okay. There you go. All right, now we need to find where we are in the script. Why is this here? They left. No, no one ever picked this up. Oh, okay. No one ever picked it up. No one ever picked it up.
Okay, so I'm calling order.
Where are we? Script. Now, well, we're here. Here's the deal. She's gonna now
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for your patience. I'm going to call the meeting back to order, and I'm going to call on Association Secretary C.C. Gassner with an updated registration report.
Okay. All right, we got this. Madam President, at the opening session, there were 194 leagues represented in person or by proxy. There are now 220 leagues represented in person or by proxy. I move that we accept the updated report.
Thank you. All those in favor? The chair proposes to, okay, thank you. All those opposed? The ayes have it. The registration report is accepted. Thank you very much. So now the chair proposes to take another test to make sure that we're accurate. So let's see here. Teller and teller table, are you ready? Tech table?
We are ready.
Okay, so should I move back to, there we go, thank you. Okay, so don't press anything until we say something, until you hear the voice from the back. So to serve wine and chocolate, 1 is yes, 2 is no. Carrie, give us your instructions.
You may vote now.
Okay, thank you. Teller chair, can
Extending
you give it?
time because we are still receiving votes, which you can see in the bottom left corner. We're up to 208 votes currently. Please look at your keypad, and you should click the number again. If the number shows up and you do not see received, wave up your hand. You should get the received on your screen to confirm that your vote has been cast.
Okay, I see we've received 214 votes.
And Madam Chair, just to let the record show, I do not believe the doors were locked, and I did see some people exit. Hopefully that will not affect the vote.
Well, that was a test.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so with your permission, we're going to go back to business.
Yes.
Please don't make me put my sunglasses on again.
Just in case.
So, the motion is to adopt motion 1 as printed and distributed. We've heard some comments. I'm going to open the floor up for discussion again. Do we need more discussion? Okay, hearing none, the motion is made on behalf of the Board of Directors, does not require a second. So are you ready for the question? Okay, so an affirmative vote of 2/3 of all votes cast is required for adoption. The doors to the assembly will be closed during the vote. Door monitors, please close the doors. We will vote electronically. Voting delegates, please get your keypads ready. Again, press number 1 if you are in favor of the motion. 2 if you, yes, you need to wait, sorry. Press number 2 if you are opposed to this motion. Is everyone ready? Tech table, please give us your instructions.
Please vote now.
So I'm being told that there was a 1 on the screen already before we actually started. So it's 220. I now call on Teller Chair Betsy Conway to read the results.
Madam Chair, please let the record know that there were 221 votes cast. There were 215 votes in the affirmative and 6 votes in the negative.
So the votes were 215 in the affirmative, 6 in the negative. There being more than 2/3 of the votes cast in the affirmative, the motion is adopted. Thank you, delegates, for sharing your thoughts and engaging with your leagues today. It's not always easy to stand up in front of a group, I know, to speak to everybody. So thank you very much. So, moving along, the next order of business is consideration of the advisory resolution to establish a membership task force submitted by the Junior Leagues of Washington, Tulsa, and Jackson. The advisory resolution is on page 15 of your call to conference. Please find it or look on the app. As a reminder, advisory resolutions are just that, advisory in nature. Advisory resolutions approved by the Junior Leagues will be reviewed by the board at our next meeting in June, like I said before. Then the board will take action and send a letter to all of the Junior Leagues letting you know what we've decided. The chair now recognizes the delegate from the Junior League of Washington. Oh, Tysley, this microphone over here. Yeah, go up front. Oh, you can? Okay, sorry. Sorry, Tysley, my fault.
It's okay. Thank you, Madam Chair. I move on behalf of the Junior Leagues of Washington, Tulsa, and Jackson for the approval of an advisory resolution to establish a membership task force. The advisory resolution advises the AJLI board to research the adoption of an inclusive membership model to address financial barriers which may impede a prospective provisional active or sustainer from joining or maintaining membership at the international or local levels. Therefore, be it resolved that this advisory resolution advises the AJLI board to establish a membership task force to include AJLI leadership and broad representation of member leagues. The membership task force will research the adoption of an inclusive membership model to address financial barriers which may impede a member from joining or maintaining membership by exploring financial models that are less dependent on member participation, by identifying ways leagues and AJLI can accumulate funds necessary to operate while addressing the need for financial assistance created by the varying economic circumstances of women, and by encouraging the widest possible participation in the Junior League by women committed to our mission. Those delegates who will vote in favor of this advisory resolution will join more than 60 leagues of varying sizes from around the world who have affirmed the importance of researching, evaluating, and examining a proposed strengthened membership model.
Thank you, Tysley. So the question is on the advisory resolution proposed by the Junior League of Washington and is now open for discussion. Please go to the mics to speak about the resolution. Tysley, you can sit down.
Good morning, Madam Chair. Meredith Aldridge from Jackson, Mississippi.
Yes.
I wanted to emphasize a lot of the great discussion that we had yesterday and the points that Tysley made, that this is meant to be a very broad-based discussion, research, and analysis model, the way that we as leagues can elevate to the board level the consideration of these very important inclusive issues. We do have more than 60 leagues of all sizes and all around the country and the world who have joined on informal support, and we do hope that every league in here will consider joining us by voting yes.
Thank you. Is there anyone who wants to speak in opposition of the motion? I'm going to go back to the green microphone. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm Tracy Woodruff from the Junior League of Evansville, Indiana. And while I am in support of the resolution, I would like to encourage the board to examine the dues cap and take that into consideration from the perspective of the smaller leagues. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this motion for the advisory resolution? The chair recognizes the delegate at the green microphone.
Good afternoon. This is Carla Hallman from the Junior League of Charlottesville. I am in support of having the discussion. I just want to ensure we don't make a decision or kind of change the direction of the advisory process.
Thank you, Carla. Is there any other discussion? Are there any people who wish to speak in opposition of the motion? So in the interest of time, we can take one more pro. I recognize the delegate at the green microphone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is Mary Beth Nestor, President of the Junior League of Tulsa. And just for a point of clarification to address the last comment, just for the membership to know, this is a request for research and analysis, and no specific action is being requested through this, but for the members of the task force to inform us so that we can collectively make a decision on how we can move forward.
Thank you. Seeing no other discussion, are you ready for the question? The question is on the advisory resolution proposed by the Junior League of Washington to establish a membership task force. This requires a majority of votes cast for adoption. We will vote electronically. Please wait for instructions. Please close the doors of the assembly. Number 1 will be in favor of the motion. Number 2 will be in opposition of the motion. Tech business table, are you ready? Please give us your instructions.
Please vote now.
The chair calls on Betsy Conway to read the results.
Madam President, in regards to the advisory resolution to establish a membership task force, please let the record show that out of 221 total votes cast, there were 209 votes in the affirmative and 12 votes in the negative.
Thank you, Betsy. There were 209 votes in the affirmative and 12 votes in the negative. There being a majority of the votes cast in the affirmative, the motion is carried. Thank you all. We will now consider advisory resolutions submitted during this conference. On each table is a list of the advisory resolutions that have been submitted by the junior leagues. All of you should also have received these updates on your conference app. I hope you have them in front of you. The next item for consideration is the advisory resolution about removing Article 3, the geographic areas, from the AJLI bylaws. The chair recognizes the delegate from the Junior League of St. Louis.
Good morning, Madam Chairman. Thank you. I'm Carrie Crompton from the Junior League of St. Louis, and I am presenting a motion to approve an advisory resolution that would advise the AJLI Board of Directors to review the AJLI bylaws and consider the removal of Article 3, geographic areas, from the AJLI bylaws. Further, the AJLI Board of Directors report their findings and recommendations at the 2020 annual conference in Cincinnati, Ohio. Be it resolved that the AJLI Board of Directors review the AJLI bylaws and consider the removal of Article 3, geographic areas, from the AJLI bylaws, and be it further resolved that the AJLI Board of Directors will report findings and recommendations at the 2020 annual conference in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Thank you, Carrie. The question is the advisory resolution proposed by the Junior League of St. Louis, and it's now open for discussion. Please go to the mics to respond to this resolution. Carrie, would you like to speak to the resolution?
Certainly, thank you. As we discussed yesterday morning, we are looking at removing the areas that have been in existence since approximately the 1970s that were tied to board of director positions. That is no longer the case, and at this point, the geographic areas do not really fulfill any need and also do not promote inclusion, which we are all trying to do, and additional ways for leagues to join together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The chair recognizes the delegate at the green microphone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Katie Shuck, Junior League of Sioux Falls. I know many heard me ask a concern about this yesterday, and I actually was very impressed and wanted to say a huge thank you to the Regional Meetings Task Force because that took away many of my concerns on taking away the area of designations for leagues such as myself that are in vacant areas. So thank you, and I am in favor of this now.
Thank you, Katie. I'm supposed to recognize the delegate at the red microphone, but there's no one there. I recognize the delegate at the green microphone.
Hello, Kristen Kilshaw from Portland, Oregon. As the word area has become an archaic term in the bylaws, we support AJLI considering the removal of the term from Article 3. We believe that this resolution supports greater collaboration between leagues worldwide by removing artificial distinctions and barriers, thereby promoting greater development opportunities for all leagues.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Just a little bit of glare, right? I'm Beth Ramson, delegate from Junior League of Seattle, and I'm just seeking information on the motion. I'm going to read it. My inquiry is how the AJLI staff currently utilize the geographic areas in conducting work on behalf of the association or individual leagues.
No, the staff does not utilize the areas
That was succinct.
for service.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm sorry I couldn't see you. The chair recognizes the delegate at the green microphone.
Hi, this is Erica Chi from Las Vegas, and I just wanted to say this advisory resolution came from the regional meetings. It's not about creating regional meetings. It just came from the work that we did at that task force. Thank you.
Thank you. So in the interest of time, I'm reading the room, that you're ready for the question. Okay, yes. Okay, so are you ready for the question? Yes. The question is Advisory Resolution Number 2, proposed by the Junior League of St. Louis. This requires a majority of votes cast for adoption. We will vote electronically. You know the drill. Teller and tech table, please give us the word. Oh yes, please. Door monitors, please close the doors to the assembly.
Please vote now.
The chair calls on Betsy Conway to read the results.
Madam President, in regards to Advisory Resolution Number 3 about geographic areas, please let the record show that out of 217 total votes cast, there were 197 votes in the affirmative and 20 votes in the negative.
Thank you. With 197 votes in the affirmative and 20 votes in the negative, there is a majority of the votes cast in the affirmative, and the motion carries. So moving swiftly along, the last item for consideration is the advisory resolution about reviewing the AJLI mission. Reviewing the mission statement submitted by the Junior League of Lufkin. The chair recognizes the delegate from the Junior League of Lufkin.
Thank you. The Junior League of Lufkin submits an advisory resolution request that the AJLI board review and consider revising the current AJLI mission statement to better emphasize the leadership potential of women. We are joined by the Junior League of Grand Rapids, the Junior League of Greensboro, the Junior League of Racine, Wisconsin, and 50 other Junior League organizations, all since yesterday.
Thank you. The question is the advisory resolution proposed by the Junior League of Lufkin and is now open for discussion. The chair recognizes the delegate at the green microphone.
Thank you. My name is Katie Cruz, and I am the delegate of Junior League of Sioux City. I'm very excited for this proposal. At the end of the day, our members are truly our first customers, our clients. And like they say, every time we get on an airplane, we must put our air mask on first before we assist others. And at the end of the day, we need to make sure we are investing into our members and helping them first before we can serve the community.
Thank you. The chair recognizes the delegate at the red microphone.
Hi, Valerie Parkey from Junior League of Fresno. I want to just say that I believe that the leadership potential of women is a value that we hold rather than our mission statement, and that developing the potential of women in and of itself states the leadership potential, and this is a marketing issue rather than a mission issue. So training members on understanding developing the potential of women means training members on leadership, female leadership, women's leadership. That's a marketing issue rather than a mission issue. So.
Thank you, Valerie. Any comments in the affirmative? Any other discussion? Oh, yes, the chair recognizes the delegate at the green microphone.
Hi, Joy McGaw, President for the Junior League of San Antonio. I shared yesterday our vision statement that we use in San Antonio, but I think that when I look at this room full of women, first of all, I want to say a big congratulations to the delegate from the Junior League of Lufkin, because I know that it is very intimidating to stand up in front of this group of women and speak on something that you believe in and want to see explored. And so thank you for bringing this up for us. I do think that beyond it being a marketing issue, especially in light of the membership task force that we just passed via advisory resolution, it is really worth looking at. Does our mission statement speak not just to our members and constituencies, but to the community and other partners, donors, sponsors, any other constituencies that we are engaging with in a lot of ways? And so I think that that is a really important consideration here, that our mission statement needs to be very reflective of what it is that we're truly doing in the community to make the ability for us to find additional funnels for revenue and funding a little bit easier for our leagues by really truly examining our mission statement and whether it is really reflective of what we do as an organization now.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the red? Oh, sorry, I can barely see.
Yes,
yes, the delegate at the red microphone.
Yes, I'm Lauren Chung with the Junior League of the City of New York. I have I'm speaking against the resolution, but I also have a couple of questions to ask for context from AJLI. I would like to point out that AJLI, from what I've heard, has periodically reviewed the mission statement. It is a very intensive process from what I understand and very costly if there were to be a change. I have a question with regard to the last time the mission statement was reviewed. And what the process looks like for that to take place. Because I think that if we are going to have them review the mission statement, it needs to be reviewed in context of all possible changes, not just this one particular change. And if you can provide that context, I think it might help folks make a decision.
So I'm not sure when the mission statement, I personally am not sure when the mission statement was last revised. And I'm going to look at Susan Danish or Ann Dalton.
Yeah, Ann needs to speak to this.
Okay, thank you. Ann Dalton is going to speak to this issue. Thank you, Ann.
The mission was last revised in 1995 to add the words developing the potential of women in an effort to clarify that in fact we were a women's leadership development organization. I believe it was done in conjunction with a review of our commitment to being a women's only organization. I don't have any idea. We didn't hire anybody to do any work on it, so there was no outside support there. I really believe it was internally generated, decided, proposed, and the leagues approved it.
And to your point, was it this delegate body at an annual conference?
Oh yes, in order to revise the mission, this is the group that does it.
Thank you.
Yep.
I assumed that that was part of your question,
Yes,
Lauren.
thank you. I want it to be a total, my recommendation would be if we're making a request to have any type of review or revision, that we have a total consideration. Also just understanding and amplifying some further comments that we have other ways of communicating our mission through our vision statements from our own leagues, and I think that we all have creative ways of doing that without this being a hindrance to us if it were to be a case where this were not reviewed or changed.
Thank you. The chair recognizes the delegate at the green microphone.
Hi, Delane Help from the Junior League of Chicago. I am for this mission. This year, the Junior League of Chicago began on our strategic planning process, and we started with the evaluation of our mission and vision, and it was determined that the mission statement is very long, first of all, and secondly, it does not accurately represent what our organization does, which is what the mission statement should do, which is train leaders and serve the community. So if adopted, I actually encourage the task force to look at the mission in its totality so that it could be better evaluated to represent and reflect what AJLI and all junior leagues do collectively. Thank you.
Thank you. The chair recognizes the delegate at the red microphone.
Thank you. This is Zelma Frederick. I'm the president of the Junior League of Baton Rouge. The first thing that comes to my mind is that this is a league-wide, more of a marketing issue. And when we market, we need to be marketing to our members as well as the public. Our mission statement is unique. It says what we are and who we are and what we do. And I think that messaging and educating our members on that uniqueness and what makes us stand apart from the millions of other nonprofits in America is accomplished through that. My big concern is cost. The amount of cost to change this would be a cost to AJLI as well as our individual leagues. And so when you get into marketing materials, updating websites, letterhead, all of your marketing materials for your fundraisers, community events, I mean, you have to look at the cost of that, and that I would rather that money go back into my community and training our members instead of marketing materials.
Thank you. The chair recognizes the delegate at the middle microphone for a request for information.
Valerie Parkey from Junior League of Fresno. So I have a question for the Junior League of Lufkin actually proposing the advisory resolution. Is this resolution to specifically address and adjust the mission statement only as it relates to leadership potential of women, or a complete revision of the mission statement? Because I've heard that now a couple of times.
Can the delegate from the Junior League of Lufkin answer that question, please?
Yes, the resolution is that the AJLI board consider revising the mission statement to better emphasize leadership potential of women globally.
Thank you. The chair, where was I? I was here. The chair recognizes the delegate at the green microphone.
Hi, Lori Hohenleitner, Junior League of Monmouth County. I'm speaking in favor of this advisory resolution on behalf of my league, but also on behalf of transfers that have moved from league to league over the years. This is my third junior league. I'm going to be president. I joined in the Junior League of London, then spent a lot of my time in the Junior League of New York City, City of New York, and now in the Junior League of Monmouth County. And I think that emphasizing the potential of women, wow, I'm shaking, is really an important thing, and that's the thread that's carried through all three leagues. And as someone who now holds elected office, like many other women in our organization, I think that I got that from this, and we got this, and that we need to really prioritize ourselves. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I see the dreaded red card. So discussion for this motion is ended, unless someone would like to propose an extension of time. Are you ready for the question? Can the doors be closed, please? So the question is the advisory resolution proposed by the Junior League of Lufkin. This requires a majority of votes cast for adoption. We will vote electronically. You know the drill. Tech and business table, please give us your instructions.
Please vote now.
The chair will call on Betsy Conway to read the results of the vote.
Madam President, in regards to advisory resolution number 4 about the mission statement, please let the record show that out of 220 total votes cast, there were 141 votes in the affirmative and 79 votes in the negative.
With 141 votes in the affirmative and 79 votes in the negative, there is a majority of the votes cast in the affirmative, and the motion is carried. As the scheduled time of adjournment approaches, I'm very grateful to all of you for your patience with our process today, and the time scheduled for the annual meeting is coming to an end. So thank you all again for embracing your role as owners of the association. You fulfilled that role so well. We were really thrilled to hear all of the dialogue. Together, we had informed, thoughtful, and respectful conversations, and you made decisions. So this concludes the second session of the annual meeting.